before I go into design mix, let's first explain product design. So when you talk about product design, it involves designing a product. That means you are creating a new product. So whenever you are trying to create a new product, you are making a product design. Do you understand? You are making a sketch of a product. That is what it means by product design. So in the course of you making that, in the course of you trying to produce a product that you have started, okay, you talked about the product design. What do you do with this design? How do you come about this design? You need what we call a design brief. So what does a design brief mean? It implies about a product, the features of a product that the designer have to use. So there's a designer, there's a design for that product. So we said product design is creating a new product or service. So how will you be able to create this design? You'll be able to create this design through the design brief. So the product that we are about to produce has to be designed by the designer. So the designer needs what? A designer brief to be able to use in designing the product. So we use a design brief we use it to develop the product. So the features that are there are what we need to carry out in our design. I think it's clear. So you know what a product design is? I said this involves creating a new product or service. You are creating a product or you're creating a new service. How do you go about it? You need a design brief. So because the design brief is going to tell you all the features about that product that you want to design. So the product must entails this, that. So this is what the designer will have before it starts developing the product. The product design is clear. Design brief is clear, right? Great. So as a designer, there are certain things you need to put into consideration when you are designing your product. Are you with me? Yeah. So first, you talk about the shape and the appearance of the product. So whatever product you are designing, you need to put into consideration how big, how small the product will look like. So that's what we mean by the shape and appearance of the product. So how is it going to look like? How is it going to be like at the end of the production? How is it going to look like? That's the shape and appearance. I think it's clear. Whether it fits the intended need. Whatever product you are producing it because it is a need for certain customers. Right? Because you have done your market research and you feel, it is important we produce this product. So whatever product design you have, it must meet the needs that you have intended to produce it for. So we want to produce this pen to be able to be used as a black one. So this black pen must be able to be used by the students. So the design you're going to bring out in the production of this pen must involve or must be part of what we really need to produce. So we are producing this black pen and it must be useful for what is being produced for. So the other thing you have to put into consideration is whether it fits the intended need. Does it really fit what the consumers are looking for? So a designer must put that into consideration. 3, how easily and cost effective it can be produced from the design. So is it cost effective? Are you sure you're not going to waste? Are you sure you won't incur more cost in the course of designing the product? 4, the preferred materials to be used. Now that you've known your design through the product, through the design brief, what kind of material will fit this design? It's still a sketch. It's still a sketch. So now that we are about to produce it, what kind of materials will fit in this design? Will fit to use to produce this product? I think that's clear. Yeah. And the last one, whether the design should create a corporate identity. When we talk about corporate identity, we meant the image of the company. Yeah. Will it go in line with the image of the company? That's corporate identity. I think it's clear. Great. So we're going to design mix. When we talk about design mix, we talk about the number of key features that you have to put into consideration in the course of designing that product or service. There are 3 design mix: the function, the cost, and the aesthetic. So these are the 3 features that a design must contain. Is it? Okay, we'll go to Design mix. So when I talk about design mix, I already said there are key features that you have to put into consideration in the course of you producing that or designing your product. And they are aesthetic, function, and cost. So let's talk about function. So a product must be fit for the purpose, which means that it must be capable of doing the job it is being sold for. So if you are selling a product, it must fit the purpose while you are selling it. That means any customer that is paying for that product would have paid for the product that is giving him or her satisfaction, which is utility. Do you understand? So whatever product it must function. It must be functional. And to make it functional is to derive utility from it. Utility. That's the amount of satisfaction you can derive from the consumption of a commodity. Mm-hmm. So if you are satisfied with the use of that product, then it is functional. That means the product has been able to function.
Yes,
it has served the purpose it was bought for, or it was sold for. You sell the product for a certain reason, which means you want customers to buy them. So the customer will be buying that product because it believes it's going to serve the purpose that he or she wants it for. So if this happens, then the design is functional. Is it clear? So what are the best? Okay, here I said products that are not fit for purpose are likely to be returned, and that is a cost. If I buy a product from you and it is not functional, I have to return it. So if all the customers return the product they buy or they bought from you, so what happens? It increases your cost. It becomes a business cost, which is not good for the business. So that's why a product must serve the purpose. So if it serves the purpose, that means it is functional. Is it clear? So the advantages you get when your product is functional is that one, it could be used as a USP, especially in the competitive market. You could use it as your unique selling point. Mm. Do you understand? So it differentiates your product from others. Two, it improves the reputation of the business, especially if designed with ergonomics. So what are we saying here? Ergonomics is the convenience you have using the product. Do you understand? So if the product is convenient to use, then it could improve the reputation of the business. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. So look at what I wrote about ergonomics. I said, where is it? Ergonomics. Okay, I said it is a study of how people interact with their environment and the equipment they use. So whichever equipment we are using, how convenient it is in the course of using it, that is ergonomics. Mm-hmm. I think it's clear. Yeah. So any product that is conveniently used or it's convenient for usage, then it's functional. So customers will be always like happy to buy and they always return. I think it's clear. Yes. So the second design mix is about cost, which is economic manufacture. So a well-designed product is more likely to be economical viable. So when I said a product is economical viable, it means you will be able to produce the product, buy or sell it, and still make profit. You'll be able to produce the product or service and still make profit. That means the product is economical viable. So look at what I wrote. I wrote, a well-designed product is more likely to be economical viable, which means that the business should be able to produce and sell the product or service profitably. Do you understand? So if a product is economically viable, it means what? It means you can produce the product, sell it, and still maximize or make profit. Is it clear? Yeah. So a product design must be economically viable. A product design must be functional. Okay. Being functional means it serves the purpose. Being economically viable means you will still you'll be able to make profit producing it and selling it. And the third one is aesthetic. What is aesthetic? Products and services should stimulate people's sense of imagination. Yeah, how it appeals to people. Now, it serves the purpose. The business is making profit. Yeah, how is this product going to be attractive to customers? That's aesthetic. So when you talk about aesthetics here, you need to consider the design must be put into consideration. Certain elements for the product, like the size of the product, the shape of the product, the color, the smell of the product, or if it is service, the presentation of the service. How do you present this service? Will people be able to buy into this idea? Will people, when they see it, they will be convinced to pay for it? If it is in service. So just assume you make a video, like you asked me about why I make videos. So you could make videos to stimulate the sense of customers, to stimulate how it appeals to customers, their sense of imagination. Yeah. So, the video is cool, or we should be able to buy this product. Do you understand? So, when you put into consideration these elements that involves people's senses, then you are thinking about making your product to go viral. Do you understand? Yeah. Because these are the things that will make consumers to make their choice. Mm-hmm. Consumers will make choices based on their sense of imagination. Do you understand? So it has to appeal to them. The product must be appealing. If not, they might not even buy it. Because if they don't even buy it, how would they know it is functional? Do you see it? Yeah. So it is important your product design have these three things. The function, which means it's serving the purpose. The cost, it must be economically viable, which means irrespective of whatever you are producing, you must be able to reduce the cost and still make profit. Mm-hmm. And the last one is aesthetic. It must beat people's imagination. When they see it, it should be attractive to them. Do you understand? So, because if it is attractive, that is when they will make the choice of buying. Because consumers have to make a choice. You are not the only producer. There are other competitors. So if they are buying from you, it means they have made the choice to buy. So for them to make the choice, it must be appealing to them. Mm-hmm. So what is that? What are those elements that must be appealing to customers? The size, the shape, the color, the smell, the presentation. So if these things happen, then consumers will choose your products, or consumers will buy into your service. Is it clear? Yeah. So that's about design mix. We started with design, which means product design, which means you are creating a new product. And when you create a new product, it means you are planning to start to produce a new product. So who produces this product? Who are those that do the design? We call them designers. What do they use in making sure that this design is done? They use design brief. This will contain the features of how the design must look like. So the designers will work with the design brief for the design. Do you have any question about it? No. So we go to design mix and social trends. So when you talk about social trends, you're talking about happenings around us. What is really happening in the society? That's social trend. So product designers need to be aware of social trends. So social trends changes. This has made businesses to have different ways to design their product in a way it could be. So what we're saying is businesses, they have to be aware of what is happening in the society. And whatever product or service they render, it has to go in line with the social trend in the society. That is what they are trying to say. Mm. So what are these social trends? So whatever design you are making for your products, whatever design you have, there's need for you to understand the happenings around us. So this is how they go about it. They design for waste minimization. So when you talk about designing products to the extent that it will reduce waste, this is what the society wants. We don't waste resources. Because when we continue to use resources, they will get depleted. They will finish. Yeah. So how do we go about not wasting them? That means you designed for waste minimization. So look at what I wrote about waste minimization. Firms are trying to design products that minimize their waste. And how can they go about this? One, this can be done through the following ways. One, products may be designed to be durable. That means products should be made to last a lifetime. You don't produce product that doesn't last longer. So to reduce waste, you need to start producing products or design products to last a lifetime. That is durable. I think it's clear. The second one, products could be designed to be smaller and lighter. So if products are designed to be smaller and lighter, it means they will use less materials to produce them. This can also be a way to what? To avoid waste. I think it's clear. The third one, designers could be discouraged from designing products with single use, disposable. So don't design, they might stop designers from designing products that when you use them once, they can't be used again. So they will be discouraged to produce products that will not be able to be used after the first usage. These are the ways in which a product can be designed for waste minimization. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
So that's design for waste minimization. So the second one, design for reuse. When we talk about reuse, we're talking about the product being used and you start to use it again. So here I said resources can be saved if products are designed so that they can be reused. So you use them now and you are still be able to use them afterwards. So how can this happen? I said businesses could be encouraged to design packaging that can be reused. So the package that you are making, so after using it for that purpose, it can serve another purpose. Do you understand? 2, products can be designed so that their components can be reused. So we're going to design these products now. As soon as the pen is done, we will be able to buy ink and refill. Do you understand? Or we are able to take this away, we are able to take this edge away and put a new one to start writing. So we're not going to throw all this away as soon as this pen is done. So we can still use the components for production.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you understand? Yeah. So products they should be designed in a way that when they are done or when they are used, they can still serve another purpose. Do you understand what reuse is there? Now, we go to design for recycling. So, what is design for recycling? This implies that businesses are making use of recycled materials for their design. So, whatever you have to produce, it has to be through recycled materials. Okay? So, how can this happen? One, some businesses are adapting their production method so that newly designed products can be produced using recycled materials. So, they are going to produce new products, but their businesses are trying to adapt their production method to be able to use recycled materials for their new products. That is recycling. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Yeah. So instead of bringing up new raw materials, they would rather use recycled materials for the new product. 2, some businesses specialize in the sole use of recycled materials. Some businesses, what their specialty is on is recycled material. So whatever recycled material is what they use for their production. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yeah. So that's the third way in which a business can adapt to social trend. The last one is ethical sourcing. So when you talk about ethical sourcing, what does this imply? It means you are using components, raw materials, resources that are environmental friendly for your production. So look at what I wrote here. I said, this implies the use of components, materials, and services that are environmental friendly. So ways in which a business can use ethical sourcing are follows. 1, paying your workers fair wages. You pay them fair wages. You don't exploit your workers. You don't exploit them. Pay them what they deserve. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
2, don't purchase. Businesses might say we won't purchase from overseas companies or factories that are using child labor. So businesses that use child labor, we are not going to buy from them. So businesses could do that, like B2B now. I'm talking about business to businesses. So by not purchasing products or materials from businesses that use child labor means that they are working towards what? Ethical sourcing. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. The third one, providing a safe working environment for your workers. If your workers are comfortable, if they have a conducive environment, it is ethical. Because ethics is about moral. Do you understand? The moral way of doing things. And what is moral itself? The principle to know what is right or wrong. So when you're talking about ethical sourcing, that means you are using resources in the right way. Whatever you do as a business, they are done diligently.
Yeah.
Is it clear? Any question about it? So, if businesses are able to adapt to product design, are able to adapt their product design to the changes in social trend, then they stand certain benefits. So it's beneficial when a business is able to provide, be able to design its product based on the happenings around, like based on making it environmental friendly. So what are the benefits you stand to gain from producing a design or from designing a product that can adapt to changes in the social trend? One, if businesses can reduce waste, they will use fewer resources. So when you use fewer resources, it means your cost of production will fall. Then your profit will rise. Great. Two, if design reflects social trends, products are likely to be more popular. Do you understand? Because it is what is happening around. So you attract the whole society to see what you do. Because the society will look, they will see, they are listening, they are hearing about it. So, oh, that business is doing great. He's using recycled material. He's not using child labor. Three, so businesses use their design features as a unique selling point, especially in a very competitive market. Your product design can be your unique selling point. The features you have. Let them see that you don't use a lot of carbon. You know, you are more of a green business. So it's going to be part of your features. They will see it in the features of your product. And that could stand your product from the rest. Can make it stand out from the rest. And lastly, it improves the reputation of your business, as you'll be considered as a social responsible business. And when you talk about social responsibility, that means you take care of, you have interest of the society more than that of stakeholders. Do you understand? More than that of the owners of the business or the shareholders. You put the interest of the society at first, before thinking about investors. Do you understand? That means you don't think about making profit. That's what we meant by thinking about the investors. You don't think more about profit, but the society. Ensure that the society whatever you use in the society is friendly. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. You don't reduce the payment of your workers because you want to increase your profit, the profits of your business. Because if you do that, you are not socially responsible. You don't bring equipment that are fake, that will start polluting the air because you want to reduce the cost. If you do that, it is not environmental friendly. That means you are not socially responsible as a business. You understand what social responsibility means here? Yeah. Putting the interest of the society at first in whatever decisions you take as a business. Do you have any questions?